Hi, Gary. Thanks for coming on the EcoCentric again.
Yeah, well, glad to be here, and thanks for inviting me.
So you've been part of a campaign for several years now to add the mountainside on the northeast corner of Kootenay Lake, the land between Johnson's Landing and Argenta, to the Purcell Wilderness Conservancy. Now you're saying that it's an emergency situation.
Yeah, very much so. Cooper Creek Cedar has the tenure for most of the face to log it. And, it goes completely against our proposal, of course. And last winter, Ministry of Forests approved their their proposed cut blocks between Bomers and Salisbury. Yeah, we're quite upset with this here. It just seems like business as usual. And we're particularly concerned about Block 7. We're concerned about all the logging. We want to keep this area as pristine as possible and add it to the Conservancy. But Block 7, it's an old growth block. 23% of the Crown land on the Argenta Johnson's Landing face is old growth. This is one of the largest patches of old growth on the face. There's western larch trees, 300 plus years old. It's the grizzly corridor. This is exactly where the mountain caribou were foraging 2 winters ago. This is what they eat in the winter, is the lichen from these trees. These very trees are going to be clear-cut. I was just in touch with Ministry. They just did their recent census of caribou in our area. There are 27 caribou left in the Kootenay south of the Trans-Canada. 27 animals. 10% of them were using the Argenta slope. 2 years ago, we're going to clear-cut it. Also on this cut block, high ratings for soil compaction, soil displacement, surface soil erosion. This comes from reports from Cooper Creek Cedar. Very high likelihood of landslides. There are 2 recent debris slides already on the cut block, 4 just downslope. There's a sinkhole on the approved cut block, which shows its karst topography. Any one of these things you would think would be a red flag against logging, but, they've checked off all the boxes. Ministry is still professional reliance. Ministry of Forests is business as usual, and they approved it. One thing that's going to stop this logging is to make a park. What we've been asking for years and years, a very concerted campaign just in the last few years, but it's an old proposal. It goes back to the 80s. People here want a park. We don't want all this miserable logging that's being proposed. It's time to protect old growth. It's time to protect caribou. And there's so many issues here. The Purcell Wilderness Conservancy has always been considered the largest wilderness park in southeastern BC. And I was just looking on the website of BC Parks, and what they're saying now is that it's the only intact ecosystem in southeastern BC. Now, that's kind of a sad statement. The rest has been, highly developed. This is what's left. And so this is an incredible opportunity here on the Argenta Johnson's Landing face to make this park that much more resilient. We can bring the connectivity, the protection from the mountaintop down to the lakeshore, protecting over 5 kilometers of lakeshore along Kootenay Lake, and connectivity between the Purcell Wilderness Conservancy and Goat Range Provincial Park, connecting the Purcells to the Selkirks. Dr. Michael Proctor, a local grizzly bear biologist, has been very helpful in showing us the connectivity corridors and pointing out there's only 3 connectivity corridors between the Purcells and the Selkirks. You think about, Kootenay Lake's 100 kilometers long, and it's a long swim across Kootenay Lake, several kilometers. And so there's a corridor south in the Creston area. There's a corridor in the Argenta area here, and then north of Duncan Lake. And that's it. That's a connectivity between these mountain ranges. I could go on about there are so many different reasons we need to protect this mountainside. So we've got a letter writing campaign right now to the politicians to get this area protected as soon as possible.
It's the same kind of landscape where the landslide happened that wiped out parts of Johnson's Landing, isn't it?
4 of my neighbors died in that slide, yeah.
But there's no village. There's not a lot of settlement in the area, in this cut block area at the time, is there?
There are people living at Salisbury Creek at the bottom of Salisbury.
And Bulmer's Point, of course there are.
Yeah, and so we're always nervous about this logging, particularly after that slide. Now, what the company says is that, yeah, it's high likelihood of slide, but low risk to people and private property. This is what they say. But just from a forestry point of view, so they're going into an area, logging it, known for a high landslide capability. Is this a standard of our logging now? And not only does it make people nervous here, it's just kind of like, it just shows how bad the logging situation is in BC, this whole professional reliance model. And, we just have no confidence in this at all anymore. We have so many promises about, good logging, this and that, and here we have another, ridiculous cut block approved right in our backyard. You can imagine what's happening in the rest of the province where people aren't around looking to see what's going on, right? It's bad news all around, yeah. And we'd like to see some good news for a change here. And, it's such a great opportunity to increase the resilience and viability of the Conservancy over the long term. And it just makes sense in so many ways. Tourism, the Kootenay Lake Provincial Park has two very well-attended campgrounds across the lake from the Argenta Johnson's Landing face. And it's just this beautiful scenery from there looking across. And, they don't come here to look at clear cuts. The views are very spectacular. Mount Willet is the tallest mountain rising directly from Kootenay Lake. And that's a concern, too, not just these cut blocks, but now they are planning the cut blocks between Argenta and Bulmer's Creek, completely roadless area, and it's like double the size of the area they want to cut now. And that's the face just below Mount Willet, this tall peak rising from Kootenay Lake. We must stop that. So we've got to get on it now. And the more people that write in and let the government know the priorities in their lives, what they'd like to see them represent us with, the different issues, the more they'll respond. The squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? And so we appreciate anyone who is into wilderness and wants to see intact ecosystems in the Kootenays to support our proposal. It's very easy to do. You just go to our website, wildernessforever.ca, and we have 4 template letters there. Click on the Take Action tab, and it brings up the letter in your mail, and just sign your name, your address, and off it goes. And we appreciate any support we can get. We've got so much support on this locally. Like the vast majority of local residents have signed this petition. We've had great support actually across the province. Valhalla Wilderness Society has really been a big help. Wilderness Committee's been a big help. Y2Y. And West Kootenay Eco Society has sent a letter of support for us. And in fact, just on Friday, one of our group received a handwritten personal letter from David Suzuki supporting our proposal. So that was just a real upper. So, the support's there publicly. We just need to get our representatives going more seriously on this. We do have a new representative, our MLA, Brittany Anderson, and during the campaign, she promised to work with the people of Argenta to protect the Argenta Johnson's Landing face with the Ministry of Forests. We are working towards getting an appointment with her. She's a new MLA. I'm sure, she's got a lot on her table, but this is getting to be a critical timing. The logging company could log any time. They have the legal right to do so. So we're anxious to meet with Katrina Conroy, our new Minister of Forests, and our MLA to get this proposal happening.
Willet, wildernessforever.ca, the campaign's been going for some years. I believe you did get to meet with Michelle Mangala in the past?
Oh, yeah, we met with her several times. She actually brought our petition to the legislature, presented it formally to the legislature, but really no formal follow-up. I look at the Valhalla Society, and they've worked for years and years on their Selkirk Caribou Park. a wonderful proposal, but it often just takes years. Things that seem obvious to us, let's just protect, the old growth forest, the caribou, let's just do it. And it's just unbelievable to me how slowly the wheels of government go, and we've been at this for a while, and we try to be patient, but, there's a time we're getting into a crisis situation here, and we need positive progress on here, and we need some help from people throughout the Kootenays to help promote this wilderness proposal, and we appreciate any letter that people can write.
It's not something that you can campaign for years anymore if it's slated to be logging this year. The time is now, isn't it?
The time is now. Let's make it happen. We need to get excited about this and get people more active in the campaign for sure. And we know the support's there. It's just getting through to the politicians and the politicians making time to make it happen. There's so much support out there throughout Canada for doing this sort of thing. The federal Liberal Party actually has a policy of 30% protection of the land base in Canada by 2030. 30%. That would be doubling our parks in BC. And the federal Greens support it. The federal NDP supports that. Where's BC? We can't even protect a few groves of old growth. And, it's time to get serious about the environment. Things around the world is looking pretty grim. And we can do things right here in the Kootenays to make this place and the planet so much better. And we see this as a great opportunity. And we invite everyone in the West Kootenays to pitch in on this.
Gary, thanks very much for talking with us about it today. We'll get this out there everywhere we can.
I really appreciate your support, Keith, and good luck to you.